Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Friday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG Review Show.
You sure it's Friday?
Did I say Friday?
Oh, you may have done, yeah.
It's definitely Wednesday. I was still in.
Shows how much attention I'm paying. I didn't notice.
You're in Monty zone. The Monty zone. Yeah.
I might have been on Monty zone time. Yeah, but no, it's definitely Wednesday. Everyone. Yes. Good evening. It's us. It's TNG review time. We're putting another episode of Star Trek and the Next Generation into our vault this evening, and I'm joined as always by Mazim Bob, Turvikins Turner, and hopefully Chief Sean, who's having a bit of PC problems this evening, so he's joining us on his phone.
I'm juggling two phones here, trying to do my best of it, and there's my PC happily resetting, but it's not quite there yet.
Yeah. Yes, good evening to everyone in live chat. I see Mr. Tubbikins, the beard is on. Stuplum, good evening to you, sir. The Underground Parallax G-Star is on all the way from the Canary Islands. So this week it's G that's in Riser. Another one on Riser. Yes, Ruth. Good evening, Ruth. And good evening to Wookie. Hello, Earthlings, he says. So I think maybe Wookie's on another planet as well. I wish this show was Friday. Yes, that would be optimal, wouldn't it, Wookie? Yes. Shush, choo-choos, shush. Anyway, here we are. It is Wednesday, TNG review time. And how have you been this week? My co-host, starting with Mazim Bob.
I've been good. Obviously returned from my travel.
Welcome back to the planet.
Yeah, I've been a little bit jet lagged. They say going west is best and east is a beast, and I totally agree with that. You go one way and it's fine. It just means you wake up that bit earlier in the morning for a brighter start to your day. And then coming back the other way, you're like, you want to be in bed till midday and you've got to drag your ass out of bed. I overslept this morning. I still haven't quite recovered yet.
It's because you're going uphill, isn't it, on the way back? It's like downhill on the way there, and then it's like uphill on the way back, and it just knackers you out. So
yeah, well, if you you could do a around the world trip in such a way where if you keep heading east, you wouldn't get jet lag at all. If you kept going,
just kept going. Yeah, you should just keep.
You
keep going.
You go through Asia onto Hawaii, back through America, and then work your way back up.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be much better. Especially the onward to Hawaii bit. I like that bit. That's good. That sounds good. Anyway, yes, welcome back from your interstellar travels, and it's good to have you back in the studio. Tavykins.
Good to be here.
How are you doing?
Good evening. I am doing well. I even took a quick nap before the show, so I'm feeling refreshed.
Feeling refreshed.
Luxury. The kids were in bed early.
Very nice. Good. Well, I'm glad. And Chief Sean, apart from your PC problems, how are you this evening?
I took Monday and Tuesday off work because I had post-COVID fatigue and I couldn't get out of bed. But I feel fantastic today because I basically did nothing but sleep since Friday up until today. So up until the computer suddenly just crashing earlier on today, we were doing quite well. Such is life.
Such is life. I don't know if Tavykins, you can just put in private chat in the background a link to the bingo card just for anyone. Yeah.
I'm hearing a little bit of an echo on you.
I think it's coming from Sean's. Yeah.
Yeah, but as he's not operating at optimal, we'll let him off.
We'll let him off this
Sorry,
week.
it shouldn't be. I have my Bluetooth earphones in, so there shouldn't be anything coming off because I'm getting audio directly into my ear.
I know. I don't know why. But
okay,
anyway,
sorry about that.
Let's just see. Let's just check. Ready? Let's mute Sean. And now if I talk... Oh, no, yeah, it's disappeared. It's gone. No echo. I'll bring you back, Sean. It's all right. There you go.
All right. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Maybe if I hold... I'm not sure if it's using my headset earphones might be the problem. Hold on, I might be... No, I can't change that without leaving the stream. Well, I could do that too. Okay.
Well, I'll let you think about it. You can think about
Well,
it.
you gave us a noisy mic bingo anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna come out and come back again just so I can try and fix that.
Ruth says they can't hear it anyway, so it's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
Oh, okay. That's all right then. We can live with that. Thanks,
That's
Ruth.
all right. Okay, so yes, here we are. This week we are consigning to the vaults Starship Mine of Series 6. So pretty excited about that. Before I just go on with the episode, Wookie said he's not on another planet. He's up in the clouds. So I don't know what he's been doing this afternoon, but
He's on Bespin, I take it.
he's flying high. Okay, yes, Starship Mine then. So it's episode 18 of Series 6, production number 40276-244, and it first aired in the US on the 29th of March 1993. It was the 143rd episode to be both produced and released of Star Trek The Next Generation, and it was written by Morgan Gendel. And this was his second of 2 episodes he wrote for The Next Generation, the first one being Inner Light. So, for having written 2 TNG episodes, he wrote 2 pretty good ones, didn't he, really?
Yeah. And 2 that are in Patrick Stewart's top 5 or 6 of all episodes that he likes. So, yeah. Pretty good going by Gendel.
Yeah. G can't stay because he's too busy drinking Long Island's, but he's given it a 9, so we'll have to bear that in mind when we're doing the collated scores at the end.
Okay, I will actually put it on there now.
Put it on there now. We won't forget him.
Yeah.
You
know.
Cool.
Yeah. So and when Gendel came up with this, his pitch was basically like Die Hard on the Enterprise. So some fans call it Die Hard Picard.
It is Die Hard Picard. I like that. Yeah.
It's very good. Yeah, and also, so you mentioned Inner Light. I don't know if you remember, we mentioned that he had dubbed Inner Light as
something to do with the Beatles episode. Beatles
like Lady Madonna or something. Yeah,
Hmm.
Lady Madonna or something to do with like the B side of the Beatles. And so he'd also dubbed this one Revolution, apparently for the same reason. But yeah, they didn't use Revolution because they thought it was too
There
similar
was
to the
another
title
episode called it?
Evolution. But
Oh, that was
yeah,
it.
Evolution and Revolution.
That's it, Evolution. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, directed by Cliff Bowl of the Bolian fame. This is his. We talked about him a lot. This is his 21st of 25 episodes. Good old Cliff Bowl, prolific Star Trek director. And I have to say, of the episodes that Cliff Bowl done, this is a pretty good one. He did a good job with this episode, I think.
Yeah, and apparently it went through a major restructuring at the last minute, according to Cliff Bowl. They didn't like the way it was going, and they did a page one rewrite, and they were sending all these new pages in. So yeah, it sounds like the making of it was a little bit hectic, actually. But
I heard in one spot that they were actually shooting while the script was being finished.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Yeah, he was like, they were just sending pages in like while we were filming and having to do it on the fly and stuff. So yeah, it's crazy. He's getting like 10 extra pages per day as he was shooting.
Sorry, I just had to change my my light colour because I looked a bit too orange. I looked a bit too orange than normal, so I've just changed the hue of my lights to a less orange one. Right, okay. I know, Chewie. I know. I'm doing TNG review now, if you don't mind.
Oh, Chewie.
I know.
Wookie asks, where are the stables located on the Enterprise? I don't know.
You want to come up?
Chewie says, no, you're not. You're also holding me and hosting the show.
I need you, Dad. I need you, because they've all gone out and left me here, and I'm alone. So yeah.
You got to get Chewie one of those cute polo shirts that looks like a Star Trek uniform, or a little bandana.
A little Star Trek bandana. Yeah, that'd be cute.
He's actually a crew member.
Anyway, Chewie, yeah. So I'll just carry on with Chewie. Yeah. So the teaser. Oh, we need pictures, don't we? That's what we need next.
Oh yeah.
Pictures. That's not the picture in question. Oh, Chewie. How am I supposed to click on the picture with just one hand? You're going to have to go down, Chewie. There we go. Good boy. Okay. Oh, no, that's the wrong... No, not there, over there. I'm getting there, don't worry. I've done this before.
It's all right. If it's not a data photo, we're not too upset.
There you go.
It's a photo of the D. Okay,
that
was beautiful.
It's a D photo, but just not the D photo you were hoping for. So the Enterprise is docked at the Remier Array, where it's undergoing a routine procedure to eliminate accumulated baryon particles. This will be dangerous to living things on the Enterprise. So in preparation for the procedure, they are evacuating the ship to the Arcaria base on the planet below. It's a good shot of the D. There's a lot of new D shots in this, specifically for this episode.
Well, to get the shadows right, I imagine they had to take a few, all right.
Yeah. And I always like episodes with new D shots in them.
This very, very sexy shot of the D. I'm looking at it going, oof, that is just so
Oofers.
I guess, my Norwegian is coming out. Oof.
Oof. So, Picard's walking the ship, overseeing the evacuation, and people are coming up to him and asking him questions like Troy here, who comes to him telling him that there's been slow progress on decks 7 and 8, so he orders the transporters to be opened up in Cargo Bay 2 to get them all back on track. It's quite funny here. He walks down this corridor and she comes out of sick bay. And then he turns a few corners and he's walking down this corridor and the doc comes out of sick bay. Wow, they got multiple sick bays.
Yeah, there's a lot of shots like that in this episode. I didn't make too much of a point of it, but certainly they do that a good. I mean, it's only one corridor. There's only so many ways to shoot it.
Yeah. Yeah. So the doc comes out of sickbay to tell him that there's a lack of stasis units in the Arcaria base. So Picard advises to get Geordi to reutilize some of the stasis units in the astrometrics lab, so that sorts out that problem. I do find that his senior staff are coming into him with like really super mundane problems, which if they used a little bit of common sense, I'm sure they could figure it out for themselves.
And normally that's the job of the first officer to sort those things, not
And to be fair, Picard does look a little irritated by these questions as he's walking along. He's just like, what now? Sort it out, people.
Can you imagine being annoyed? It's like, guys, we know how to do this. We know how to do this before. Why is this so difficult today?
Yeah. So on the way to the bridge, he bumps into Riker, who just walks out of a turbo lift, and Picard tells him Troy's handling the issues with Deck 7. So he's passed on that bit of information. He's like, kind of like, I've done your job for you, so off you go. I also think, with the size of the Enterprise and like, there's 1,200 people on board or whatever, how they all like bump into each other in one corridor.
Yeah, do you remember in the old Batman show, the 60s one, when they'd be climbing up the side of a building, and like Abbott and Costello and everyone was flying the stair where people would keep popping out of windows? It's a bit like that.
Yeah. I do quite like how they do this shot where Riker comes out of the turbo lift. They have one like quick, short conversation, and then the turbo lift door opens again and Data's there.
Yeah, he's obviously hiding just to the left there.
I was wondering whether they had like a bit of the set missing where he could walk in, or whether he was literally just squeezed in, hiding behind the door. Because
I think he was squeezed in. He was squeezing on the left, and I think that's what part of the reason why he's off center on the right, our right. Just to kind of put your brain off the fact he was hiding on the left, and the camera's angled slightly to give him a bit more space.
And also, when the doors opened, Picard was standing on the left, which shielded if he was poking out a little bit, you wouldn't have seen.
Yeah, he was
Picard
blocking.
Was standing in the way.
Yeah, nice bit of stagecraft.
Yeah. So I don't. They said they don't hear it on stream, but it is putting me off talking, hearing myself. So I'm back at myself.
It is a bit distracting.
Okay, I'm just gonna come out and then I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna change the audio source to my phone.
Ruth says she can hear it now.
1 second. Sorry, 1 second.
Okay, he's gone.
We'll miss him.
Goodbye, Sean.
It's quite a long teaser, so it still probably won't be finished by the time.
Yeah, it'll be fine. By the time I get down to the bottom of this little bit, I'm sure he'll be back and sort it out. So yes, the turbo lift doors reopen and Data is there in the turbo lift, and so Picard enters the lift. It's Data. Look, it's Data. He's in this episode. Look at Tabby's face. Look how happy she is.
And he pulled some interesting expressions in this episode.
He
should be
does.
some good shots of him, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
How long his arms are. Do you see how long those arms are?
They are long. They are long. So Picard enters the turbo lift and finds Data there, and Data turns to him and says, "It has been quite a day, has it not?" Which is just like such a...
okay. Sorry, guys. Is that any better?
Testing 1 2 1 2. Oh yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay, right. It was just my earphones. Sorry.
Okay.
I think both of them have a microphone, and it should just isolate that. But obviously, it was playing it twice or something. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Move on.
Okay, cool.
What do I know about tech support? Look at my PC.
So yes, it's been quite a day, has it not? Picard's like, yes, it has, I guess. Data continues that a change of routine can be invigorating. And he heard that on Akaria 3 there's some interesting weather patterns. Picard looks at Data and asks him if he's all right. Are you all right, Data? Oh, damn it. Damn it. Come here. Yes.
They're not appearing.
Yeah, no.
Look at that. That is a great shot close up.
He's like, are you feeling all right? And Data tells him he's attempting to fill a gap in conversation with non-relevant information. Because small talk. Right, I get you. Picard tells him that if he's interested in small talk, then he should keep his eye on Commander Hutchinson at the reception in the afternoon. He is a master. I think Data's like, oh, thank you for the tip. They exit onto the bridge where Picard is bombarded with questions from LaForge and Worf. Worf needs him to disable the command functions before the sweep, and LaForge wants to install some additional field diverters to protect the primary systems. That'll take about 30 minutes, so Picard gives him the go-ahead to complete the work and sets the command functions to disable in 30 minutes' time. As Picard heads to his ready room, Worf asks if he can be excused from Commander Hutchinson's reception, which Picard grants, wishing he could excuse himself. Geordi jumps in with his own request, but it's denied. Denied! Picard can't excuse his entire command staff. Worf beat him to it. And then Worf's got this this look of, like, victory.
Sweet victory.
Yeah, that's the smuggest look I've seen him have yet.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, it's almost like one of those sibling faces when one of the siblings gets something.
Yeah,
I liked it earlier on. Wookie said he hasn't seen this episode. Can I try to do this one, but without giving any spoilers?
well, look, if you want to answer the questions honestly for once, it could be a bit of fun.
I just thought, yeah,
because you probably if you generally don't peak, you most likely won't get most of them right.
You never know.
Have you actually got your questions then, Sean? They're not dead on
I
your computer
do.
somewhere.
I do, yeah. I have them on my other phone, because I'm a drug dealer. No, I have a work phone for recorded calls, thankfully, that I never use for anything else, but I'm using it tonight. I have them here, I just can't post them in the chat, so I'll have to read them out slowly and carefully.
Right, okay. No worries. So yes, Picard goes to his ready room and talks to Mr. Orton, who confirms the schedule for the Baryon sweep. And asks Picard for confirmation he is attending this afternoon's reception. And Picard reluctantly confirms he is. He then goes back out to the bridge and finds it deserted. So he takes some time, because he's got the ship all to himself. Just the captain and his ship. And you can tell that, he's... he loves his ship, basically. Smooths down the console and looks over it and just has that little moment like, yes, I've got the best fucking job in the world. As captain, he doesn't...
What it's like?
Sorry? Go on,
I was like, can you imagine what it's like to actually be standing on the Enterprise in a moment where it's just you and you're looking
ship.
out at it in the silence? Like, I even felt that when he was there. I'm like, yeah.
Well, as I said, they're building one Ticonderoga, so give it another year or so, and you might be able to do that.
I just feel that they don't lean on that enough in Star Trek, like they did with Kirk quite often. Like, he loved his ship, but with Picard, he always felt a little distant from it. Like, even when he met Scotty, and he was like, the Enterprise is all right, but Stargazer is the ship for me type thing. And I just feel that, even when they crashed it in Generations, he was like, there's plenty more letters in the alphabet or something like that.
They'll give me another sovereign, it's fine. they'll give me a sovereign.
Yeah. But this is one of those rare occasions where they drop that and...
I suppose, is it that kind of thing where, you want to justify a good new purchase, and they go, I need a new laptop, and your wife goes, well, what's wrong with your current one? It's working fine. And you go, I know, but it doesn't work well. And then the next week you kind of drop it. Is it one of those situations?
Yeah.
Oh, it's broken now. I have to replace it.
Yeah. So yes, just as he's about to exit in the turbo lift, all the mechanics enter to start prepping for the barrier sweep. So he makes a quick exit before they see him. I think he's a little embarrassed that he was kind of getting sort of, emotion about him and his ship, and like the
he wanted to get away before they saw him.
The moment spoilt by these people in overalls. Yeah, I don't know what Tuvol's doing on the bridge, but he's a bit early. He's got a few more seasons before he comes along.
I heard the most amazing side conspiracy theory for it though.
This is his long lost half brother.
Oh no! I'll wait until the scene where he comes in again.
He's Section 31. He's pretending not to be a Vulcan.
Yeah. Okay, we'll
get
to that.
That was a guess.
Well, I don't know if he was Section 31, but he was supposed to be intelligence, and this was around the time when the Maquis was actually starting to build up, and so.
Okay.
He's
Can
infiltrating
you imagine him being an intelligent officer, going out to be parts of these crews like espionage, and later on, he just disappears.
There's two problems with that. One, he went undercover with the Maquis again later, and I can't see a Vulcan being able to fake emotions. It's just not it's not really possible for them.
No, that's true.
I mean, a Romulan can fake being stoic, but I don't think you can fake emotions. It's just it's like Data with a small talk. It's hilarious, but you're not fooling anybody.
Sorry, that was the end of the.
Perfect.
So,
lovely stuff.
Time.
So, first question: what is the name of the administrator who calls the Enterprise? That is A, Mr. Norton, B, Mr. Horton, C, Mr. Orton, or D, Mr. Horgon. So that's A, Mr. Norton, B, Mr. Horton, C, Mr. Orton, or D, Mr. Horgon. And the bonus question is: what part of the bridge does Picard touch fondly just before he departs?
I don't know what you call it.
Well, I'll tell you what they call it afterwards. But if you get it in the general area, that's good enough.
Are you posted? Is it posted there?
I can't post it. I don't have it. I only have it as a PDF. I can't copy and paste it out, so I can't.
I couldn't remember.
I can't do that.
What the
Yeah, could you give me the options? I'm typing them up live.
Yeah, okay, I'll try and actually there might be a way around that. I'll try it for the next round. So the first one is name of the administrator: Mr. Norton, Mr. Horton, Mr. Orton, or Mr. Horgon.
Okay.
And then, as I said, the bonus is what part of the bridge do you touch? I think there is a way I can share, but I'll fix it in a second.
Next to tactical, but it's it's the thing.
Yeah.
It's the thing. Any other things for the teaser there, Mazima Bob?
Yes. Sorry. Okay. So, barium particles are real things. Do you know about them, Monty? I know you're sort of into your physics and stuff.
No, not particularly.
Apparently, protons and neutrons fall into this class of particles as being baryon particles. So therefore, eliminating them from the Enterprise as a whole would destroy everything on the ship at an atomic level.
Because
it's only protons and neutrons, all that would be left are electrons. like a great big flap of electricity, poof, the Enterprise has disappeared.
Yeah. That would be bad.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure how accurate that all is, but yeah. Picard obviously gets accosted by every single member of the ship's senior staff. I thought it was quite clever how they got them all in there in the opening scene. And as he's coming out of his ready room to say his wistful goodbye or so long for now, there's a tear in the carpet right behind where Data usually sits. I don't know if that's because they move those from time to time, don't they? But that could be why.
That's correct.
And then this is maybe one for Sean, but the turbo lift that the people came out of, that's the turbo lift to the battle bridge, is it? Or does it go everywhere?
One of them comes out of, here you go. It's the emergency turbo lift to the battle bridge.
So you think that would, I don't know, raise a red flag with Picard?
It's unusual. It's the only second time we've ever seen it open. I think the last time was Encounter at Farpoint.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
There you go. I guess they don't often shoot from this sort of angle, or I don't know. Anyway, So then obviously I've got some observations about all the guest stars. I don't know whether we want to get into that sort of stuff yet or pepper it throughout.
We could do.
You've already mentioned that Tuvok's there. Obviously, he was in Voyager, and he did a load of other things. Like there was something called Star Trek Voyages, which was like a Beyond Kirk and Star Trek Renegades.
Series.
And he directed
did some,
and wrote a lot of that. Apparently, I didn't know that.
It's
on YouTube.
They don't let them do that anymore. If they get involved with fan productions, they shut them down. It's not allowed.
I mean, these specifically had special permission to from Paramount and things, but yeah.
Oh, now then they did, but now they don't. Okay, right. So I've got the questions. I've put them in the StreamYard's chat, and I've put a public link, so you should be able to open it. So one of you might be able to open it and copy and paste it in, because I'm doing this all on the phone, which isn't easy.
I'll give it a go.
Perfect. If you can open it, that's...
Oh, and I forgot to post the... damn it. I forgot to post the... if you want to get yourself a bingo ticket for Sean's bingo, for Sean's buzzword bingo, there's the link. If you haven't got one already, the link is in chat for you to pick one up.
Yeah.
As Sean says, a buzzword that's on a bingo card. Tavikins will shout it out, and you can get yourself some extra TNG points. Yes.
Okay. So, like that hat might be a reference to something, or
that
black and white water I'm drinking could be a reference to something, or could mention Tim Russ was on Voyager. That might be a reference to something. Who knows?
It was also in Picard. And the one that surprised me a bit was he was also in a couple of episodes of Deep Space Nine.
He played a Klingon in when they steal Dax's symbiont. Well, Dax, he's the Klingon. He's covered in makeup. You can't tell it's him at all. Yeah, was he in another one?
He also plays himself. Well, he plays Tuvok in one of the Mirror Universe ones, doesn't he?
He does. Yes, or possibly two. Yes,
but this Picard,
through the looking glass, whatever it was.
Yeah, but the Klingon, I didn't realize. I was like, what? He's a Klingon? And then I looked it up. I was like, oh my God, I actually have to watch
that. You can't tell at all. The makeup was fantastic.
I just really didn't realize that was Tim Russ. So learned something new. And I'll stop there for now then. We'll talk about some of the others later maybe.
Wookie says he has a friend that's like Commander Hutchinson.
Yeah.
I think we've all had friends like that. I actually had a boss who was very much like Commander Hutchinson. I forgot his name now.
Yeah, I'm that grumpy sod. It's like, the manager brings you into a meeting. It's like, come on, let's have a chat. And it's like, I've work to do, right? You're like, not going to get done if I'm sitting here talking to you. Leave me out of here. Let's move on.
Rob, what's he called? My old boss, Maz. What was he called? Rob. Sproul. Yeah.
Thanks.
He reminds me of Miss Hutch. Call me Hutch. Just because, I don't know. Sometimes Rob would just
never forgave my parents for Calvin
talking and just not stop. Yeah. Anyway, go to Rob Sproul. Still got his guitar over in the background now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's his electric guitar in the background.
Nice.
He's never getting it back. Let's be honest.
Am I looking at that shot you have on the screen? That doesn't even look like a turbo lift. It looks like a corridor. Am I just imagining? I'm looking at it on a phone screen. I can't really see it that well.
It's a special turbo lift. Yeah.
Yeah, where it doesn't look like a turbo lift. Oh, it looks like a corridor that goes off to the side. Okay, yeah. I think they forgot what that was for a second.
Yeah. Right. Let's get some answers to the questions.
So it was Mr. Orton, no letters, or no H, in case you think I'm mispronouncing it. And he caresses the horseshoe, as it's called.
The horseshoe.
Or
yes.
You could say. Yeah, it's generally the loop of wood is generally referred to as the horseshoe. But if you said tactical console or anything like that, the arch, that's all good.
Whatever. It's that thing, the wooden thing.
Mm.
Yes. So who we got for the wheel?
We got Arch, the Arch, that's you and me. We got Arch, we got the barrier where Worf stands, and the wooden arch thingy.
The wooden arch
I think that's everybody, right?
Stuplum.
All 5 of us.
Okay, that's everyone then. Let's spin the wheel.
Come on! Mother Monty!
Yay! I got one. What a great start.
Nice.
Fix! Want to recount? Okay, so Act 1 then. Here we go. Act 1. The reception is underway with Commander Hutchinson, call me Hutch, is busy boring them all to death with his special brand of small talk. Data's stalking him in the background, aping his behavior. It's quite funny watching Data. We just spend time watching Data in this scene.
There is a meme of him doing those impressions, that I've seen somewhere. It's definitely one of his better. Like, Brent is fantastic. I mean, there's even that shot in a minute that is an outtake, but they just left it in the blooper of Beverly and Riker laughing at him because they're just laughing at Brent because he's that good.
I do think that Riker in particular looks like he's having fun in these scenes in the reception.
Because Brent is obviously cracking him up take after take.
Yeah, he's just
doing this silly act.
Bowl. Yeah. I'm wondering what they got him drinking.
Brent tells a convention story, I may have mentioned this before, where Patrick Stewart was directing an episode, and they were trying to find Ensign Rowe in a bar, and she was hiding, and there was only about 4 tables. They kept coming up, but they do a German voice and then a Swedish voice, and he was cracking up because he had to get the scene in his directing debut. And then all the suits came down to see what Picard was doing, and he goes, "Hey, look, we'll do something funny for you." And they delayed it by another half an hour, 40 minutes, and Picard is there, or Patrick Stewart is there losing his mind, screaming in his brain, but they just, himself and LeVar are just laughing so hard they cannot help but just keep winding him up harder and harder.
Oh.
What's happened?
We lost Monty there. He still has the old COVID as well.
I had a sneeze. But luckily, I managed to just reach the mute button just in time, so I didn't definitely.
Yeah, I do apologize. I have no mute button, so if I'm sniffling and sneezing or coughing, there's little I can do about it. I do apologize.
Yes, so there's Data studying Hutch as Picard suggested. Oh, so next picture. Hutch tells Riker that he hears he's quite a ladies' man, and then goes off to accost Picard as he enters the room. But I love that picture of Data. Yeah.
Oh, you can flick forward, the next 30 or 40 frames. There's just more and more gold. Every single one of them. Just like...
That one's a particular...
Yeah, you can just... He's just a beautiful man.
I'm going to have to say those are the dorkiest facial expressions ever. He pulls them off so well. I'm like, oh my God.
So then Data practices his newly acquired small talk skills on a confused Dr. Crusher and amused Riker, showing off his new conversational technique. He addresses her as Beverly and then breaks character for a moment to go, "Is it all right if I call you Beverly?" Beverly. He continues that he's noticed the mean temperature on the planet is slightly higher than normal for human comfort levels, and then goes on from there.
Yeah, he makes a couple of mistakes. He's like, humans like the temperature to be the same as the room they're standing in, which isn't true because human temperature is about 37.5 degrees. We generally prefer 21, 22 degrees. Do you have
That's
a couple
right.
on that, Mazza? Do you? Sorry, I'll shut up then.
Well,
Go
no,
ahead.
he just says humans like a body temperature of 21 degrees. What he means is...
Yeah, no, you'd be
ambient
dead if you had a
room
body temperature of 21 degrees.
Exactly.
You would be dead from hypothermia in about
Ambient
10
room
minutes.
Picard tries to palm Hutch off onto Geordie and Troy, but then is offered a lifeline when Hutch mentions that they have horses. Though the conditions are not good for riding at the moment, it's cold and muddy and there's nobody about, but Picard takes this as an out and insists on going back to the Enterprise to get his saddle. Geordie's like, you keep a saddle on the Enterprise? And he's like, oh yes. Yeah, all serious riders must have their saddle that they care for and look after, and it's perfectly normal.
Well, I mean, it's like wearing someone else's shoes. I mean, you have to break it in so it fits your posterior and everything else. I would imagine. I don't do much horse riding, but or horseback riding, as they like to call it in America. They have to specify what part of the horse you have to ride in case someone gets confused. But
yes, you don't want to ride to France.
Yeah, I completely robbed that off Michael McIntyre. But anyway,
they as he's saying all this, he's gradually backing out of the room as he's talking, and then he turns around and goes to leave and walks straight into a wall.
Good moment.
And then he leaves, leaving Troy and Geordie in the delightful company of Call Me Hutch. Yeah. We got another shot of the D, this time powered down. She's ready for a baryon sweep.
It's probably the same shot of the D. It's just they didn't put the pass in that adds the lights. That they've omitted that. I would imagine.
Yeah, you're quite right.
Anywhere to save a buck.
Yeah. Picard's gotten changed into his riding gear and he's found his saddle. Very important. But as he's walking through the corridors back to the transporter room, he notices an open ODN junction box with some cut cables. He investigates and he's confronted with Tuvok's long-lost human cousin.
It's messed up. If they had closed up that panel and just been a bit neater, he would have walked right off and they would have gone on.
You would never have known. There would have been none the wiser.
Yeah, that's like asking a burglar to be neat. It's like they don't care. It's ransack, throw everything out, find what you need, get out.
Yeah, I didn't expect anyone to be there. You'd think they would, because they need to be. The idea is they're going to do this. They're going to steal a bit of this, whatever it is they're stealing, resin.
Trithium resin, yeah.
Once they come back on after the baryon sweep, nobody's going to be any the wiser. And nobody will be... It's like the perfect crime.
Oh, yeah. I suppose it's a waste product. They might notice, or they
might not notice a little bit of waste product.
The baryon sweep knocking it out or something. Yeah, that's true.
No, they might go, oh, that's a bit odd. But...
Was the baryon sweep to get rid of the baryon particles, but was the trilithium a part of that, or just something separate? I didn't know if that's... Why they're
any fingerprints or DNA or whatever they left would all be destroyed by the baryon sweep. So from that point of view, there'd be no evidence.
Yeah.
I don't know if they noticed the trilithium missing, but they say it's a waste product, so maybe they would.
But if they left mess like that lying about, then somebody would notice, wouldn't they? And they go, oh, hang on, something's gone here. What other things are missing? And then it would have highlighted the fact that something's happened. So you would have thought they would have, anyway, he notices it. And yes, Tuvok, the not Tuvok, makes some excuse about his laser cutting back an interlink or something. And Picard excuses himself as he's got to get back to the planet with his saddle. But they both knew the ruse didn't work, so the not Tuvok goes to call the captain back, but Picard smacks him with the saddle and knocks him out with a Vulcan nerve pinch. It's like, oh, the irony. The guy that is going to be famous for playing a Vulcan gets knocked out with a Vulcan nerve pinch. Brilliant.
And why do you think he's able to do that then?
Because he
he's
mind
got-
melded with
yes.
what's his face? Boxfather.
Sarek.
Sarek. Yeah.
Sarek, yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the fan theory, because Sarek lent some of his Vulcanness to him when they melded minds, that he now knows how to do it.
They become a part of each other. Yeah.
Mm.
So then things start shutting down. So Picard quickly makes his way to the transporter room, avoiding the other baddies on the ship as he goes. He gets to the transporter, sets the coordinates, but just as he's about to transport himself safely away, the system's all shut down, and he's now trapped on the Enterprise alone. Dun 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 dun. Question time.
Ooh, questions. Yeah, Tavi, please copy those in for me. What is the order that Hutch works the room? So, is it A, Beverly, Will, Picard, Deanna, Geordi? Is it B, Beverly, Will, Picard, Geordi, Deanna? Is it C, Will, Beverly, Deanna, Geordi? Sorry, and I put Deanna again for some reason. And the last one is Picard, Beverly, Will, Geordi, Deanna. So, and
Bloody hell.
the bonus question is, what name does Calvin Hutchinson tell Will to call him? Sorry, that one's a bit easy. I possibly could have come up with something better there. Actually, Tavi, that's the only one that has an answer under it, so don't copy the answer in. And that might give you a slight chance, because it is listed there. But the rest of them don't have answers, because I don't generally add them in case I accidentally copy them. Just because I would never remember that if I didn't write it down.
Well, I'm going to have to be taken out of the...
No. You're doing me a favor. You're all right. You can...
I mean, to be honest, I didn't know that you put the answer there. I'm glad you said that in case I accidentally pasted it. But I'd already thought up the...
you already made your mind up. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So, at least for this one. But now I got to be careful.
No, that's literally the only one that has the answer there. The rest of them don't.
Okay.
It's just because it's so awkward with the way I wrote that question that I had to make a note of it, because otherwise I could forget.
Oh, I just answered as the vault by accident. It's me, but
We got a split between B's and C's.
We're making progress here. Engineering is coming back.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I do have a second laptop in my dad's house, and I toyed with getting it, but I was like, no, I won't. I'll leave it. Won't take that long. It took that long.
So, some trips and stuff. So apparently they did some fairly complicated stuff with the background small talk, where they scripted all this small talk and had a flow chart of how people would move around the room, and they laid down some like tracks that they were going to repeat as background noise and hubbub. But actually the additional dialogue was not incorporated into the final episode. And I think that might be because they had all sorts of budget cuts, which meant that the whole reception scene and the number of extras and stuff was dramatically reduced. So having like a load of conversation hubbub in the background when there were only about 10 or 12 people there would have probably been a bit odd.
I did think it was a bit crazy that you got 1,000 people on this ship, and the reception's got 6 people in it, or 8 people, the main, not even the helmsman or any of the other senior staff that you see on the just the named crew, just the stars. So,
I could understand if it was a captain's table kind of thing where you can only fit 12 or 14 people, but it's just a big reception room. Easily 30 or 40 people could be in it. Nice set though, although some of the elements are reused from other things, but not bad.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely would have changed the story if you had that many people in there, because I don't think that takedown of the room would have happened so easily. They had a room full of officers, so even still, they couldn't do it.
No.
Fair point.
So also, this is the only episode that mentions the Shellyak outside of the one in which they appear, and that was Data after his comment about 21-degree body temperature. He was saying something about the Shellyak straight after that. So, remember them. Picard's fondness for horse riding was previously established in the episode Pen Pals, and he later goes on to ride a horse in Generations. So there's a nice bit of continuity there. We've already talked about the neck pinch. So we were saying about how he got it because he mind melded with Sarek. And Jonathan Archer also demonstrated a successful nerve pinch after receiving Surek's Catra in Enterprise. Leonard Nimoy, however, was unable to perform the neck pinch whilst carrying Spock's Catra in Star Trek III Search for Spock.
He did, yeah. He
Spock
tried.
wasn't able to teach it to James Kirk either after, despite several efforts at trying to teach him how to do it. So it seems like, it might be a bit dependent on the person and maybe their technique, or maybe there's something about finger strength or something.
Originally, it was supposed to be related to their telepathic abilities. So they're getting a hold of
it depends on the focus
and using their telepathic abilities to tell their brain to go to sleep. But then, I'm going to say humans do it as well. So it kind of does away with that notion.
When McCoy had Spock's Catra, it wasn't a melding of the minds. He was going crazy. It was two disparate personalities, kind of like Lauren Data and Picard, trying to inhabit the same body. So it wasn't so much that they were merged and there was a total control. It was, it was McCoy trying to do it, but maybe, you know what I mean, that they weren't working together. They're working against each other. The cohesion wasn't there. So that would be my headcanon explanation for that.
Cool.
It's pretty much Tabby. I was just reading what's going on in chat. Lucky asked what sort of bloke Tabby would be if she had confirmation surgery. And my immediate thought was, well, a black bloke. But
of course,
our answer was a lot better.
The cat and red dwarf. The cat and red dwarf comes to mind.
Yeah, the cat and red dwarf. Ow!
Hey,
this is mine. That is mine.
That's fish. Today's fish is today's meal is fish out of.
We better not pass a mirror, because if I see one, I'm going to be there all day.
Yeah. I got a wardrobe so big when it's lunchtime with my trousers. It's dinner time with my shorts.
Dinner time when my shoes are. Or whatever.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Dwayne Dibley. Love it.
Yeah.
Tavi, one of these days we have to get you to watch Red Dwarf.
My wardrobe passes international time zones.
I will watch it eventually, but I feel like you guys will recite the entire show live for me by then.
Yeah.
Well, they've made like 12 series of it, of about 6 episodes each, but they've done it over nearly 40 years. They started in like 1988 and they're still making it.
Right. Okay. So.
Sorry, just before we move on, happy 36th anniversary to Star Trek The Next Generation, and happy 22nd anniversary to Star Trek Enterprise just in the last couple of days. Sorry, please continue.
Oh, yes. Important anniversary. Also, I'm a year older from last week's episode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And actually, funny enough, Red
forgot to say that.
Red
I meant
Dwarf
to say at the beginning.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Monty.
I'm now a year older.
Red Dwarf had its first recording 37 years ago last week or something like that. So you're roughly the same age as Red Dwarf.
Yeah. Nearly. Oh, and he's gone. With
Bye.
us. He left us.
He was supposed to be telling us the answer. Tavi's got the answer, though, haven't you? Is it B or C? Let us know.
I do. The answer is B.
B.
Yeah.
B. I
Not
got it
D. I
right.
thought you said D for a second there. Cool.
B is Bob.
And then everybody got Hutch right, so
bonus.
we'll go on the.
In that case, everybody's on the wheel. I'll spin that wheel. Do dip 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 dip.
I don't think everyone is on the wheel because somebody put a C.
No, that was the first
Oh,
question.
no, the wheel is for the Hutch question.
And I won it again! Snowy.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Now I got it.
Maybe it's because it's my birthday this week. I'm just winning all the wheels. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you're 10 years out, Wookie. You're 10 years out. Right. I'm 28. Can't you tell? Okay, so... oh, Chief Sean's back.
Hi, Chief Sean.
Oh, I don't... Oh,
that's not right.
No, that was not right. He's gone again. Okay, I'll carry on with Act 2. Oh, balls. Every single time. Goes
We are
on.
nearly an hour in and we've only got to Act 2. That's a bit slow.
We'll go a bit faster. Okay, so we're on the planets. We're back down on the planet and we see this nice matte painting of the starbase place that they're in. This is a reused matte painting from Unnatural Selection. You know, when they the dot goes down and they all get old. I think it's that one, Unnatural Selection.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, 1989, and also used for the Oniaka 3 research station in Descent.
Yes, we haven't. Yes,
We ain't got there yet.
we ain't got there yet. In fact, it's changed a bit for Descent. They do change some bits. They add some bits at the top here, another bigger dome, and they add some bits on the other side of the canyon here. The only thing they changed between here and Unnatural Selection was there was a shuttlecraft on the landing pad here that they've taken out. But apart from that, the matte paintings were done by oh god, we talked about him like last week or the week before, didn't we?
Oh, was it the tech guy, not Curry?
Yeah, didn't he do some of the matte paintings? Or
Oh, what, Dan Curry? Yeah, he did a lot of them, I think, but I didn't realise.
Dan Curry. I think he was one of the main guys that did a lot of the matte paintings. And let's see if Sean's now with us.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, don't know what happened there. Hopefully you're not getting echo because I have to play with the settings again. My phone is not that. But look, my PC is making progress.
Hey.
Okay, so right, where were we? Yes, we're heading back down onto the planet. Oh.
Yeah, the little echo
Yeah,
thing
we're
is
getting
back.
that. We have got that echo back, Sean.
Sorry, hold on, let me try and fix that. Okay.
So back
Just
on the
don't
planet.
acknowledge me as I come in.
Yes, all right. Back on the planet, Data's still making small talk with Orton this time. He's a famous actor. He's been in lots of things. He's been in like 24. I think he's been in a number of Star Trek things. He's like got red hair and he always plays like a secret agent or a general or something like that. He's in West Wing.
Yeah,
he was in West Wing.
yeah.
Yeah, he's been in lots of
Yeah,
things.
wasn't he in like Transformers a lot?
Yes, he was a general. He was a general in Transformers.
Yeah.
He was actually he was a tactical officer or something in an earlier TNG episode. Stood in Warp.
Ensign Burke, peak performance.
Ensign Burke. See, you know all this stuff, don't you? Yeah, Ensign Burke.
He's also in Generations as a navigator.
He is
Voyager
in
as a
Generations.
guard.
Yeah.
And in Enterprise as Macready or Macready.
Yeah.
And while we're just talking about people, we haven't seen her yet. Oh, actually, no, I'll wait. Carry on.
So yes, back on the planet, Data is creating small talk with Orton, noting that he finds it interesting that Orton's family dropped the prefix Pell from their surname, where Pell Orton would be considered a more noble appellation of their name than simple. I can't be doing it, Sean.
Maybe if you can turn your
Sorry,
headphones
I'm
down.
still having sound issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna mute you. I'm just gonna mute you for a minute. I'm just
If he
sorry.
can't unmute himself, we'll have to
muted.
unmute him every time he wants to speak.
Yeah.
He doesn't realise he's been muted. Are you not listening?
I'll unmute you again. Oh, no, he's frozen.
I think he's gone.
He's gone. Anyway. So, yes, I think it's interesting, that whole Pell Orton thing, because, that might stem for why he's doing what he's doing, maybe because he's, I don't know.
A rebel.
Yeah, he's a rebel, not conforming to the society's standard norms in this society. So, fudge.
Aww. While you're fixing that, I did send a visual answer to Wookiee's question to the TNG chat and messenger. Some photos.
Oh, right.
Riker, who's being told the exciting story of how Hutch got this position, decides to introduce him to Data, freeing a grateful Orton in the process.
Oh, wow. Tavia, the dude. That's impressive.
Oh my God, I'm going to have to bring that up on stream. Hang on a minute. Hang on,
There's
everybody.
3 of them.
Hang on. Bear with me.
I look kind of like my nephew in that one. A nephew mixed
Well,
with
you're
my
a good-looking guy. Oh, show.
Are you saying you'd let me ask you out?
Yeah, probably. If I didn't already have a little brown beauty of my own.
You
Wow.
get all the attention, but it yeah.
It's there's another one. Very suave. Very suave. You look familiar. I don't know why.
I think there's one more. A third one.
Is there another one? Wow. Well, Wookie, you asked the questions, and you can't
Nice
say
hair.
that we don't deliver. Oh dear. Yeah, the hair's great.
Got a little frosted tip thing going on there.
Yeah.
I got to make sure I'm looking good for the ladies.
Absolutely.
In case they want to run their hands through that.
No, you forget it, Wookie. Forget whatever
Yeah,
question you're thinking
he's
about.
like, challenge accepted. It doesn't mean we'll deliver anything you ask for.
No. I don't have the filters. Okay, so yes, Riker has introduced Data, Hutch to Data, and they enter into a small talk temporal feedback loop. Talking about choosing the color palette for the room's decoration, and what an interesting topic that is. And the temporal feedback loop seems to suck time in and then turns minutes into hours if you get too close to it. You never get back out again. Orton goes off as he's got jobs to attend, and Geordi tells Riker that the captain's gone back to the ship to get his saddle, and they have the whole captain's got a saddle. Geordi laments that Picard's probably riding through fields miles away from here by now, and Riker thinks he's a lucky bastard. Back on the Enterprise, we've got
Question. The
what?
power is off, right?
The power on the Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So what? So why are the lights on the windows?
Why were those windows lit up?
I don't know. Powers.
Just
People
say
just-
yeah.
I thought they mentioned that main power's off, but they might have that system where emergency lights and stuff are always on.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
This crew are just like my children. They just do not turn off the lights in their rooms when they leave. One thing it was about this, though, you see that thing start, and it's like going along
Well,
the.
what would have been done in a few
It'd be like
seconds.
if you actually just sat
Less
here
than a
watching
minute.
it. After about 2 or 3 minutes, it would be done.
Mm.
It was going pretty quick.
You seem to come back to it every like 10 minutes, and it doesn't seem to have moved since the last time we saw it. You know. I think Sean is at his laptop.
Yes, I got my laptop working. Hopefully the sound is all right.
Yes.
Yes, that's much
Very
better.
good.
You sound
Perfect.
better.
Sorry, guys.
How's
We
it
got there in
going?
the end. Okay. I've lost my OBS. I've lost all my animated backgrounds, but look, we'll worry about those another day.
Yeah, you're here. That's the main thing.
We're a bit weak on Chief as well, so you got to start filling it back up.
Yeah.
Weak on G.
With relevance, don't just shotgun crazy stuff out.
Yeah.
But no, as Geordie suspected, he's not in fact riding through the fields on his horse. He's still on the Enterprise, stuck. And he's carrying Tuvok, but not Tuvok, to sickbay. And he also has a little gizmo now for opening the doors, which I can only assume he got off Tuvok, not Tuvok, because he didn't have that a minute ago. The not Tuvok turns out to be someone called Devore, and he has some kind of comms unit that a lady called Kelsey's trying to contact him on to check in, and tells him to meet them in engineering. Devore comes to and tells Picard his phaser won't work due to the plasma field generated by the baryon sweep. And Picard says, "All righty, I've got you're a laser welder, so I've still got you, mate." But in the end, he ends up putting him under with a hypo spray. He then goes back for looking for a way out, and is captured by the not Lita Alexander from Babylon 5. Back on the planet, Data and Hutch are getting on, trying to outdo each other on the random facts the other might not know. Did you know that this planet has no atmosphere? I did.
Yeah, every planet has some atmosphere. That's another thing he gets very wrong. Because
Yeah, one of 7 planets known to not have an atmosphere. It's like, well, I'm sure there's more than that.
If it has enough mass to be classified as a planet, to become spherical and have its own orbit, then it must have an atmosphere, because there must be a certain amount of gas being held by the gravity. It's impossible. So, unless maybe it's being burned off by a sun that's close or something. But even then, I don't see how that could work.
Nerd.
Even the moon has a very, very, very tenuous atmosphere. Very tenuous.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of gas being held around it that is more than space. It's measurable.
Wookie says he wished he'd started every sentence tonight with "Did you know?"
Did you know?
Did you know?
Yeah,
that's very good.
I was distracted by all my technical problems. My laptop dived off a cliff just before I started. So, although it's running fine now.
As they're outdoing each other with the "Did you know?", Riker's looking on with morbid curiosity, like someone that was looking at a train crash, and just can't help but watch, even though he's horrified.
As I said, there's one of those intakes of that scene earlier where he's telling Beverly and Riker the facts, where Riker just bursts out laughing because clearly they probably had to record it about 20 takes before the two of them could hold it together for the 15 seconds.
Geordie notices some kind of energy reading thing coming from underneath the table and offers to take a look to see what's wrong. Orton and the other members of staff try to pass it off as maybe a heater malfunction, but Geordie's insisting on investigating it and helping them out, but they knock him out of the way, and then they grab 2 disruptors from under the table and shoot Geordie and Hutch. This is Geordie getting shot by one of them. And this is the guy shooting Hutch.
Yeah, I can't blame him.
Yeah. Data goes to make a move.
So beautiful.
He thinks better of it again. Once again, it's one of those times where Data could have used his android superpowers, but wimps out.
It's a shame he didn't have a couple of pieces of fruit, because he obviously has a perfect aim that he just clock him.
Yeah.
Obscure their view. By the time the fruit is out of their field of view, he'd have him knocked down. I mean, he can punch you in the face and just impale your entire skull. I mean, there wouldn't be a battle.
Yeah.
Death bot in 0 seconds.
It's the end of the act, so it's question time.
All right. Yeah, I have my questions somewhere. What act are we on? Yeah. So, which crew pout? Which
Was Act
crew
2?
put a...
You want me to do
Yeah,
it?
Act 2, sorry. No, I have it. Which crew put on a talent show for Hutch? Was it A, the Copernicus, B, the Magellan, C, the Hubble, or D, the Galileo? And the bonus question is, and I do have options because even though it's easy because it's fun, what is Tim Russ's line in Spaceballs? Is it... Oh, hold on. Those are too long. I've split it in half. Is it A, I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. It's B, may the Schwartz be with you. C, I always have a coffee when I watch Radar. You know that. Everybody knows that. And D, we ain't found shit. So... Tim Russ was in Spaceballs. If we didn't mention that already, I don't think we did actually.
I did not know Tim Russ was in Spaceballs.
You didn't know? Oh,
loads of stuff. But yeah, that would be a complete guess on my part.
I think I know, but I'm going to take a guess. I think I know what it is. I'm going to guess the first one. I don't know, but I'm going to go with that.
Okay,
oh no, I've got to answer with my own.
I thought that was a fact that everybody knew.
I'm going to go that one.
Well,
I didn't even realize he was in Deep Space Nine. Why would I know he's in Spaceballs?
Well, I'll tell you a funny bit of trivia about that. He was in Spaceballs, and then actually no, I'll wait for you to answer the question because I might give it away slightly. Yeah, Mazza, sorry, you probably have trivia.
Yes, I probably do. So we were talking a little bit about Glenn Morshower, the guy who plays Orton, who was also in Generations. And of course, then there's Not Lita, Patricia Tallman, who she was actually in a load of other things. So she's another unnamed alien in episode 25 of this season. She's an officer in Generations. She's got 3 roles in Deep Space Nine, 2 roles in Voyager, and of course she's in Babylon 5. But what I thought was interesting is that Tim Russ is in Generations, as is Glenn Morshower, as is Patricia Tallman. So 3 of these extras on this episode were also all in the film.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Hutchinson, not really in anything else of note. The one who plays Kelsey, so she looked really familiar to me. I was like, oh, she's going to have been in loads of stuff, but really not so much, and nothing that I could think that I would really recognize her from. So, except maybe Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does play a character in a couple of episodes of Babylon 5, but yeah, other than that, nothing else I really would have seen. And apparently her role was originally offered to Robin Curtis, who turned it down for
Robin Curtis. Yeah.
Just accepted a different role. And then the guy who plays Sattler was also in Deep Space Nine, plays a character called Haliz, and he's Halb Dyer in Wrong's Dark and Death or Night. So yeah, most of the people that are in this as extras are in other episodes as well. Final thing, 2 more things actually. So Picard at the beginning of this, when you see him dragging the Not Tuvok's body through doors, it says deck 12. And but later, even at the time, they say that Not Tuvok was on deck 7, and then later on they say that the body is on deck 7, but of course clearly the doors said deck 12. And then the final bit is that Hutchinson's shot, but not actually mentioned after that. In the background, there's like a purple fabric over a body, but there was some additional dialogue, which was one of the things that was cut, which was between Riker and Crusher confirming that Hutchinson had been killed by the phaser blast. But we just have to assume because he's never mentioned again.
Yeah, I liked
Hutch. Like that they killed off Hutchison. I really liked his character.
I'd love for him to come back in Lower Decks.
It's sad.
He would be perfect for Lower Decks if they brought him back and he started going on a long diatribe. How he was shot, but he wasn't really dead, and it would be so good.
Yeah.
Bring him back, Mike McMahon. Bring him back.
It's the fact that they don't even mention him. They build him up. We learn about his whole backstory. Like, they haven't done that much work in a supporting character in a long time. We learn how he got there, and about his past crew, what he thought about his last post, and a lot about his character. And then they just kill him off.
He was a liaison to an admiral, and they give him this random base in the middle of nowhere just to get rid of him, so he's off the beaten path.
That's right.
Like, look, your commander, just run this base. Go away.
Don't ever talk. Don't come back. Poor Hutch.
All right. So, so it was B and D. So what happens is, if you remember, so apparently for years and years, nobody knew about the Spaceballs thing. And he mentioned it, I was watching him on the Shuttlepod show. He mentioned it once in conversation with a few people who were talking about Spaceballs. Actually, I was in that. And nobody knew. He wasn't credited or anything. And for 10 or 15 years, it didn't come up at all. Someone put it on IMDb, and of course, him being in Voyager, people made the connection, and he brings it up. But it's that scene where they're combing the desert with literal combs. Yeah. And he goes, "Have we found anything yet?" And he turns around and goes, "We ain't found shit." So that was him. Barely recognizable. You wouldn't know from seeing him because he's the big Spaceballs helmet on, but that was him. So the answer was D, and the first question was it was the Magellan, so it was B.
I guessed on both and got one right. Did we do the spin of the wheel on the last?
Yeah. You could have left the data photo up there. I don't know what you're doing, but the data photo was just fine.
You won again.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, without his hairline, it's very hard to tell it's him, but
you can see it's him. Yeah.
That nostril flare, though, that fabulous nostril flare.
Yeah, but literally one line. But he does actually a very funny video on. You can find it on YouTube, but basically he's playing with his little Zen garden, going, "It's like, I've been over 200 episodes of Voyager, I've been on Broadway and stuff, but the thing I'm most famous for is saying we ain't found shit." There's a little video of him saying it. It's very funny.
So the way I got there, the way I got there is, I knew I'm surrounded by assholes. That was, I think it was Dark Helmet on the bridge.
It was, yeah.
And the May the Schwartz be with you was Mel Brooks as like a Yoda-like character. I always have my coffee when I watch Radar. I think that's Dark Helmet again.
Dark Helmet.
When he gets brought his coffee and he spits and he like sneezes. Just he's drank his coffee, he sneezes, and his visor falls down and it just plasters the inside of the visor. It's hilarious. So, and I remember that scene in the desert, and I remember it was a black guy that said that, and I thought, oh, it's got to be that. Yeah. It's got to be that.
Nice process of elimination. Well done. I'm surrounded by assholes. Yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah.
Mine was just straight ghetto. It's like, okay, what would the black guy say?
There you go. That was a quicker way of getting there. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I didn't expect many people to get it wrong, but it was too fun not to include it. That's true in a Tim Ross fact.
Right. So, who's on the board? Who's on the wheel?
3 people plus Wookiee. So that would be me, yourself, and Tavi, and Stuplum.
So no Ruth.
Come on, Wookiee, come on.
No
Do it for me and Ruth.
All right then. Ooh.
Oh, Wookiee, giving me the death. Woo!
Oh my God, it's me again.
I think
going
on?
That's never happened, I don't think.
We need to start an inquiry. I think that the wheel is.
You think the wheel's broken?
Could we just have a test spin?
Monty is currently 30 points ahead.
You want to do a test spin? This could be my spin for the next round, though. All right, I'll do a test spin. Ready?
I'll do another spin.
I got to do a test spin. And it's Stuplum.
You've wasted Stuplum's 10 points now.
That could have been Stuplum's points in the next round, but you've wasted it. Anyway, right, Act 3. Act 3. There we go. So the baryon sweep is moving slowly across the ship, and the terrorists are working in engineering. The leader, Kelsey, seems particularly tetchy with her team, but mostly with a chap called Neil, who seems to vaguely know what he's doing. All is going well, though, until Not Lita walks in with Picard. The captain claims to be Mott, the ship's barber, and he's come here to get his saddle to go riding. He left it somewhere on deck 7, and he got lost when the power went out. She makes someone called Settler come and keep an eye on him, and orders the Not Lita to go find Devore. As Picard watches on, we see that they are siphoning off some trilithium resin. And Pommet, an alien who looks like a walking set of nostrils, thinks it'll all be good because they have a shield that will protect them from the baryon sweep. Back on the planet, we see that there's a dead body covered up in a purple sheet. Could be Geordi. Is Geordi dead? But no, he's not. We see him being tended to by the...
Too tall to be Geordi.
The doctor. I don't know. Hutch was pretty short.
Yeah, I suppose he was, yeah.
Here's the crew acting cash. Whispering to each other, just acting casual. They do a lot of acting casual now in this, the rest of this scene on the planet.
Yeah, they do a lot of stage whispering.
Yeah,
you know, like when you're watching a Shakespeare play, and they go, "I'm whispering at the side of the stage, loud enough for 300 people to hear."
Yeah. Troy senses that Orton is uneasy because it seems that Geordi has disrupted their plans and they didn't mean to hold them hostage this early. They now have to think how they can turn this into their advantage. Oh, that reminds me. Has anybody got their blood wine this evening? I have my blood wine.
I have my blood wine.
Has anybody got their blood wine?
All my tea.
You got your tea?
Yeah, I do.
Sean has his blood wine.
Ruth, have you got some blood wine out there? Stuplum, what have you got this evening? Let us know in chat. And while you're at it, if you're putting something in the chat, if you fancy just caressing that like button, that'd be wonderful.
Oh, good shout. Do you know,
I was wondering about Diana.
Caress the like button. Caress it.
I can't remember if Diana is just feeling their emotions or if she was able to actually read minds like a beta Z, because she had the conversation back and forth with her mother, but I didn't know if that was because it was beta Z to beta Z. But can she actually sense what they're saying? Because what she's talking about seems
I don't think she can.
No, she's just.
They've covered this before.
Emotions.
I want to say Chadich, but that's not the word. That's the Klingon thing. She What's the term of endearment she has for Riker? She has a name
Imzadi.
for him. Imzadi. Yeah, so if you're an Imzadi, if you have an emotional connection, she's able to communicate with Riker a little bit because of their emotional connection, because they're emotionally compatible or whatever, but she can't do it with other people. But it's just because they're, compatible or whatever you like. But why she doesn't use that talent in this episode isn't explained. Why she didn't understand they were like up to something and sneaky isn't explained. She just forgot she had psychic powers for an episode. Again.
It was either that or write her out of the episode again.
Yeah. Well, they could have done that. It would have made more sense.
I know she's not wearing a uniform this time. She's wearing the purple.
Yeah, I suppose it is a social event though.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I don't know.
Everyone else is
Captain Table, official reception. I think you have to wear your number 1 uniform, don't you? Isn't that the thing?
Yes. So they're working out how to turn that into advantage. The Doc is struggling to treat Geordi because he's apparently in a lot of pain. Data thinks he could convert his visor into a weapon by using it to generate a hypersonic pulse, knocking everybody out in the room except himself. There's Data looking quite shady.
That's a nice schnoz toss for you there.
Yeah.
I'm loving shady Data.
Yeah. Back in engineering, everyone is distracted. Whilst everyone is distracted, Picard manages to get his laser welder plugged into a wall sensor and fires it, which sets off all the alerts in engineering. Basically, engineering reacts as if there's a disaster unfolding. Interestingly, well, I say interestingly, but it's not interesting at all. That's one of Wesley's non-traps. One of Wesley's traps for nano.
Nanites, yeah.
Nanites. It's a nanite trap. That's the word I was trying to get out.
Yeah.
There it is. That's Wesley.
And if you
do his nanite traps, they just stuck one of those on a wall.
And if you don't rebuild Red Dwarf, you're going to be getting plenty more of this.
Yes, very good. Very good. I did think when it was stuck on the wall like that, it looks like one of those ports that R2-D2 sticks his thing into. You know, his
That's what I was
probe.
thinking.
And then makes it turn. You know, when he's trying to get into a door or access a computer. It looks like that sort of thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's quite contrived. The port isn't exactly where it needs to be for him to hit it with a laser, and a laser will just like explode engineering.
It's supposed to be a sensor, like a smoke alarm, or like a gas sensor or whatever. So if something goes on in engineering, it sets off all like the anti-fire, whatever. Yeah, that's what it is.
You mean like when they're testing all these different pieces of alien equipment and stuff?
That's right. In engineering, yeah.
Yeah, they don't use a science lab. No, right beside the warp core. It's fine.
Yeah. So yes, there's havoc now in engineering, and Picard uses this distraction to destroy their little shield generator thing, and then he scarpers under the closing shield door.
Yeah, I think we see that shield generator thing a bit in Voyager.
Probably. And then he climbs up through the Jeffries tubes, and Sattler gives chase. He kind of rolls under the door just before it closes and then crawls on after Picard. Picard crawls through the Jeffries tubes until he comes against the barrier coming through the ship, and there's seemingly nowhere left to go. He's trapped with a barrier coming towards him, and that's the end of Act 3. Question time.
Lovely. I love how he doesn't know his own ship and he goes in the wrong direction. But anyway. Yeah, so question 3. What kind of pulse does Beverly think she can generate? A, hypersonic, B, tetraionic, C, gravitonic, or D, baryonic? G star on the vein. And the bonus question is, which other Enterprise do we see Tim Russ on? Which other Enterprise? You possibly might get tripped up on that question, but I won't tell you how.
Okay. Right. Goofs, where am I at? Oh, so my first thought was when he said I'm Mott is, like, they've done a lot of preparation for this heist, right? They must have plans of the Enterprise and codes and ship layout and, all that sort of stuff. You'd think they would know who the captain was, and you'd think because of all the stuff with the Borg and Locutus and stuff, that actually Picard would be quite famous. So yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that he gets away with his "I'm just the hairdresser" thing. What else? So when Picard is in engineering and he overloads the thingamabob, he shoves Sattler, and you can see there's this. You might have a picture of this. You can see there's a blue crash mat on the floor that he falls onto. Quite obviously.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Somehow
there
I
was
didn't
a goof within a
that.
goof. You must saw this online. It said when he shoves Pommet, and I'm thinking that wasn't Pommet, that was Sattler. So even within the goof, there was a goof. So Bowl was saying that the lighting for this episode was quite difficult. So they usually have like time-saving preset lighting. Did you say this earlier or something? I see you smiling, Sean.
No, I was just catching up in the chat, and you were like, I never mentioned my cups, but yeah, they're there.
Yeah, you didn't. You are using them though, yeah.
I'm using my tea Earl Grey hot cup, yes.
You are. Yeah, so they usually have these preset things with the lights, and then they can come in and just switch them on, and it's all like programmed. But because everything was powered down, everything had to have different lighting. And obviously they used, because they're running around the ship, they did use quite a few bits of sets, although they're pre-existing sets. So they had to do quite a lot of configuration of the lights for almost every scene, which took a long time. And yeah, also because they did have time cut and all that sort of thing, it just made it so much more difficult. Patrick Stewart does quite a lot of his own stunts in this episode, little action man that he is. And then the final, I mean, there's a few points about it, but the final thing is about this trilithium resin, which is some byproduct of the ship's engines. So, and then in Generations, the compound trilithium is described as a nuclear inhibitor capable of stopping all nuclear reactions within a star. So it just, and also in Generations, like the main characters don't seem to know what trilithium is. So yeah, it just seems a bit odd. I think trilithium is also used in Deep Space Nine as something to do with a bomb with the Dominion. But it is, yeah, I think so. It's in different ways, and it seems to be different, and people seem to keep thinking of it as a surprise, even though it's just a byproduct of their warp engines. So yeah, they should have probably thought of a different compound to have used in Generations.
I can imagine dilithium breaking down into trilithium is kind of like, you know, the way when they're distilling oil, you know, they have like different grades of it, and you have like kind of a sludge. You know, you get like the really high end stuff, and then you get the low end dregs at the end. So it's probably the dilithium crystals breaking down into dust is the way I would think of it. Probably the easiest way to explain it. You know, it goes from big crystals into sand, and the sand is not good for much, but maybe you can explode it if you try. But it brings me onto a bigger plot hole. Why didn't they just steal a photon torpedo? I mean, they had the whole ship there.
I think because that's the one explosive thing, but I think this trilithium resin could be made into multiple explosive things because it's really, really powerful. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm always thinking, like, if it's coming off of a warp engine, why don't you just get it off any regular one that flies around at warp?
Yeah.
Why would you take on a ship?
Well, I know the Enterprise-D has particularly large engines, so, you know, you get a hell of a lot of it compared to other ships. But, you know, yeah, if you can just get it off any old freighters, you know, 1,000 freighters worth would be easy enough to get rather than getting one Enterprise-D's worth.
Yeah, well, can you imagine that the D is a big old titty woman?
She is indeed. Wookiee hates sound. Gets everywhere. Yeah, my son hates sound. He hates it for that as well.
Yeah, it's coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere.
Okay, so should we get some answers for these questions?
We can do, yes. So it was A, hypersonic, and the bonus question was, we see him on the Enterprise-B bridge.
Yes, Star Trek Generations.
That's correct. Now, I was kind of hoping we might catch out one or two people Enterprise A because, of course, in the episode flashback, he appears on the Excelsior bridge. But I don't know if I caught anyone out. I don't think I did.
Well, I said he was on the one where it was in that time loop episode where Tasha Yar went on to get caught by the Romulans.
Enterprise C.
Yesterday's Enterprise and Enterprise C. No, it was the Enterprise B. So unlucky.
Stuplum said C. Ruth kind of got there.
Montyban is the only one. Does that mean that the points go to you, or do you still have to spin against Wookiee?
No. Well, Ruth said Captain Sulu's Enterprise, which It's not Captain
yeah.
Sulu's Enterprise. He is on Captain Sulu's but that's actually the Excelsior.
That's the Excelsior, yeah.
But it does
it's the
look
Enterprise-D,
same.
which is an Excelsior class, yes,
Yeah.
and it's the same bridge basically.
So I'll give you that. It's the Excelsior class Enterprise. So you're kind of there.
Fill in the gap between you and Wookiee on that
I'm
on
just
that
trying
wheel.
to fill in. I'm just trying to make it not quite as disastrous for me, really.
Yeah. You're turning into a 1 and 3 instead of a 50-50. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, it's
You can deny that. You can deny that, Ruth.
She's like, no, I got it wrong. I tell you. Right, I'm spinning the wheel. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, Nucky.
Damn it.
Black hole.
Sorry.
I imagine Ruth wasn't so happy with you taking her wrong answer and making it right.
Ruth asked did it fall into my trap? Well, you didn't, because you ended up on the wheel. But you didn't answer Enterprise-A, which is the trick I was trying to catch it out with.
Well, we both have to suffer now, Ruth.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, Act 4. There we go. Right. So Sattler is following Picard through the Jeffries tube, and he finds Picard's jacket. But when he picks the jacket up, he finds that there's a hole underneath it. And here we see.
Okay, in this scene is so much like that villainous lair moment in the what was that franchise with? Oh, you can't see me.
Hello.
With Mike Myers,
Austin Powers. Yeah.
And the guys about to get run over by
Halloween.
Yeah, by that steamroller.
Yeah.
And he just
no. Look out!
And then
like,
you see a wide shot, and they're like miles apart. It's going,
I'm like, dude, if I saw that, I would be backing it up.
So yes, he doesn't notice the green barrier coming at him until it's too late. It comes through the bulkhead and zaps him. And we go to Picard, and Picard hears the screams of someone dying in the distance. Down in engineering, they realise that they are screwed because Picard's, damaged their little shield generator. So they decide to head to 10 forward with the trilithium. Neil thinks that's a bad idea because trilithium is famously unstable, but Kelsey says she has decided. She's the boss. Plummet enters and tells her that Sadler has died to the baryon sweep, and he doesn't think that Mott is a barber because he found this comm badge. Meanwhile, Picard, thinking he needs some weapons, goes to Worf's quarters and picks up a crossbow. I think that's pretty smart of Picard, really. I mean, he knows he can't use any of the phasers because of the particles. So he's like, where can I get some practical weapons? Like, head straight to Worf's quarters. Good thinking.
Also, you think on a starship, everyone would have a comm badge. Maybe it'd be a different design for civilians, but you'd think they'd all still have them, They'd just track you just in case.
Yeah.
But no.
What was I? Oh, yes. He's gone to Worf's quarters. He's
Yeah,
got some crossbow.
Crossbow.
Picard listens to them on their comms unit. But when they start talking about moving the trilithium through the ship, he jumps into the conversations and warns them not to do it. But Kelsey's like, butt out of it, Starfleet. This is our mission. As Neil's trying to gently uncouple the resin from the warp core, Kelsey just grabs it off of him and tells him to relax. If it goes off, it'll be so quick you won't know anything about it. I don't think that's quite the point now, is it? Sometimes, I kind of still want the rest of my life to happen. But anyway, she's not bothered.
I do like the the logic of it, though, which is, if you're dead, you won't have enough time to worry about it.
Yeah. Picard is going all MacGyver on their ass, and he's dipping his arrows into some sedatives in sick bay. You can tell you're in sick bay because you can just make out Tim Russ there on the floor in the background.
Oh, very good.
Which is deck 12, right?
Deck 12. Or is it deck 7? One of them.
Pretty sure sick bay's on deck 12, right?
Yeah. The baddies are making their way to 10 forward, but they find that Mr. Mott, as I think he is, cut away the runs up in the Jeffries tube, so they have to find another route. Back in sick bay, Picard is making explosives when the bad guys call, basically moaning about the fact that they have to do a detour now. They kind of moan at him about it. Picard tells them how he is planning to get off the Enterprise. He's going to use their ship. He's realised that they've got a ship coming to collect them, and he's going to be on it. But the boss lady tells him it's a small ship, and there's not going to be room for both of them.
Oh, no, it is deck 7. Sorry. My fault.
Deck 7. I think it was... But he's on deck 7. It's supposed to be deck 7. But when he was on that deck, he walked past the sign saying deck 12, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. But I'm seeing different things here, like looking online. There's some which say it's on deck 7 and then a second one on deck 16. And then another one says sick bay complex Enterprise-D is located on deck 12. So online
there's at least
agree,
3 different sick
this
bays.
episode doesn't know where they are either.
There's about 3 different sick bays, but the main one that they use is the deck 7 one. Because that's where all the senior crew goes, and that's where the chief medical officer is. But I mean, It's a big ship. They have to have more than one, particularly since the ship separates. So they need at least 2. So yeah, they have 3 for redundancy. I mean, if one explodes in the battle, you can't just have one sick bay. So you need a little bit of redundancy there.
Okay, Sean, can I create some eye-catching images for your green screen, please?
Are you saying that, or are you repeating something?
Wookie's asking a question. Yeah, Wookie, if you want to create something and post it in my Discord channel, feel free. Go for it.
Wookie, this is just a temporary situation because I've just wiped my computer clean, so I am.
I can't promise we'll use the image you create.
I took all of about 40 seconds to reinstall Chrome, reinstall the mic, connect the Bluetooth earphones, and log back in. So I haven't really done it. Yeah, I normally have more time playing with these things.
It's fine. It's looking good.
Yeah, no, it's it's not my best work, but it'll do for today.
Back on the planet, the Doc uses a request for water for Geordie as a ploy to tell Troy she's almost ready to deploy the pulse, but she needs a distraction. She really does a terrible, nonchalant kind of, nothing to see here kind of, I'm just walking to get water type thing. She's as inconspicuous as when my wife's trying to do that when walking through customs. Smiler Rainbow literally starts going dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum to herself.
Yeah, well,
she's walking, I'm like, what are you doing? Stop doing that.
Does no one else have the thought that you've suddenly just smuggled a kilo of cocaine that you just forgot about when you get to the airport? Just me?
Even though we haven't bought anything, she still looks really guilty. She's like,
I'm the same way. Like when I get there, I just start getting nervous because I know they're trying to look for something. And even though I don't have anything, it's like, but what if, okay, I don't have anything, but what if now I look like I do have something because I'm thinking about not having something and walking through here knowing they're watching me.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. No, well, I did get stopped once because I had all my electronics in the one bag, and it was before about 20 years ago. So I had like a Nintendo DS, and I had a phone, and I had earphones, and God knows what else. I think I had a GameCube in there, but I had it all in the one bag, so they had to take it apart just to make sure it wasn't a bomb. I was like, yeah, all right, maybe I shouldn't put it all in the one bag next time. Lesson learned.
So, she passes that to Troy. So Troy goes over and relays that message to Will, who interprets that as a request to punch Orton in the face as an opening negotiation tactic. But it does the trick. And as far as distractions go, and the other member of staff knocks Riker out from behind. Here's a shot of Riker bopping Autumn in the face. Then once it's all over, Data and the Doc like have a little nod to each other, like, we've done it. It's like, you really
Still seeing Crusher, right?
Oh god damn it.
You would think if they were taking over that place, they would have had weapons that could stun instead of just all out killing people.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because then you could have just stunned the room and laid everyone out instead of like walking around here trying not to shoot someone with a deadly weapon that you don't have to shoot them with.
Yeah.
There's Troy telling Riker. There's Riker palming.
And also, like, they
Autumn
shot
in the face.
Hutchinson and Geordie for doing nothing. So basically, with their track record so far, what Will has just done here is tantamount to committing suicide. That's a little bit overblown for creating a distraction, is basically getting yourself killed. They don't shoot him, but there's no logical reason why they didn't, being what they shot before for less.
Yeah.
Yes and no, because maybe he is just happy to give up his life, or he's hoping that the hypersonic pulse will happen before they have a chance to shoot him. Although they do have a chance to shoot him, but I suppose someone has to take the hit. He has to distract them, and he has to achieve the mission. Sometimes that happens in a situation.
Here's Data and the Doc sort of nodding to each other that they've done their job, looking super dodgy,
Yeah, not suspicious at all.
Not suspicious at all. As they're like, we've done it. We're ready. We go back to the Enterprise and the baryon sweep. It's coming through the ship's hull. Mr. Nostrils here, Pommet, is searching for the captain when he gets shot with an arrow and falls asleep. Picard grabs his weapon, but once again, he's unsuspectingly captured by Kiros, not Alita Alexander. And that's the end of Act 4. It's question time.
Okay, so there's 2 questions here. There's no options because they're too easy. So, what action does Beverly use to relay a message to Deanna? So, what reason does she use to get up, basically? Move around the room. And the bonus question is, how does Kiros surmise that Picard was the Starfleet officer?
Yeah. And anything about this act, Maz?
Possibly. I was too busy putting stuff in chat. Do I need to answer the questions first? Or I might have to answer the questions in a bit. Don't give the answers till I do. Right. So I think you were mentioning earlier about how Picard's all, I'm not going to shoot you. I'll just give you with the hyper spray and stuff. But basically, by incapacitating his foes and leaving them there to the baryon sweep, he's still kind of killing them, even though he acts like he's being merciful. He's really not actually being merciful at all.
No.
The crossbow Picard retrieves is an A2GP self-cocking recurve crossbow, apparently. They rented it for 5 days from a local sporting goods store for $125. So
wow, they really splashed out on that prop.
Yeah. Pretty cool though.
Could they not buy it for that?
What more? Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you? This is the second. This is the second time that a matte painting was used as an optical illusion for a longer Jeffries tube, and a couple of the terrorist jumpsuits are later reused for the Sorosians in a Voyager episode called Revulsion. Oh, the other thing I forgot to say earlier, because I didn't do all of the actor bits, but Pommet, who's the sort of gangly looking alien guy.
Yeah, nostrils.
He plays another alien, so that's Alan Altschuld. He plays another alien in Gambit, part 1 and 2, and is also a character in Voyager. He's the guy who's going on about sandals and shoes in the episode False Prophets with the Ferengi.
The Ferengi.
And he plays Loomis, which is a sort of vagrant type species who comes sort of begging to Voyager for stuff because his people have been decimated by the Borg. So yeah, just that's the last actor guy that I've got any comments about.
Very cool. Answers to the question, Sean.
Oh yeah, what was the question?
Apologies, I'm boiling a kettle. Yes, Beverly is going for water, and Kiros knows it's Starfleet because of the comm badge.
Yes, indeed. So who we got?
I didn't get there in time.
I'm sure you knew the answers anyway, though, man.
I didn't even have a chance to read the questions. I was just...
they were fairly easy. I'm sure you would have got them.
I believe you would have got them. Yeah. I just want you on the wheel. I got a bloody fly in my room and it's doing my head in.
Oh, I'll tell you what you need. I got one of those zappy bat things.
I need one of those zappy bats. I want a zappy
bat.
Yeah.
They're quite small.
So Stu got the comm badge. Did Ruth get a comm badge? Did Tavi get a comm? Yeah, Tavi got a comm badge. And Maz would have got a comm badge.
I did not get anything.
There we go. Right, we're all on there. I'm spinning the wheel. It's Tammy. Well done, Tammy. Congratulations. Okay, we're into the final act.
Just for I have this. I have a little warp core just for flies, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Can you imagine? Wait, is that an actual warp core fly burner?
Yeah, warp core.
Yeah, well, it kind of looks like a warp core, but it's one of those lights that attracts flies, so they buzz and die off.
Good. A warp core fly burner. Brilliant. Okay. So, where were we? That baryon sweep. That. I've lost the end of the. I don't know. Maybe. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. I am live on the internet here. I think that was the last. That was. So anyway, Kiros here calls Kelsey, who orders them to section 41. So they head that way. We go to Kelsey and Neil in the Jeffrey's tube, and as Maz said a moment ago, you can see the matte painting for the forced perspective in the back of the Jeffrey's tube here, and of course the camera's not lined up in the right way to make the forced perspective work. It looks like the Jeffrey's tube suddenly goes downhill.
Yeah. As I said, nowadays you could just put just a standard 32-inch telly back there, and then a computer guided camera, and you could make that work perfectly. Even move the camera around and it would still line up right. But not so much in the 90s.
Yeah, you build a three-dimensional model back there and display it on a television. You say you can have,
and no matter what way
you can have a VR sensor like
exactly.
To
no
the
matter
camera.
what way you move the camera, the background will compensate, so it always matches.
I've got an art YouTuber I watch called Nerd Forge, and she makes like I don't know.
I watch it too.
Yeah, Shudderberta, or whatever she says at the beginning of each. But she's made a really cool art YouTube studio that she's got, and she's got a window at the back, which looks like a big ornate circular window, but it has a giant TV behind it. And her boyfriend's built like trees and everything in a 3-dimensional model, and they put HTC Vive sensor on their camera, so as they move the camera around the studio, so the image behind the window changes, so it looks right in perspective.
It's not. It's actively moving, and perspective things in the distance move less. I love it. It's amazing cool. What used to be 10 years ago. 10 years ago used to be high-end technology. Now, it's like $2,000 worth of equipment. Well, maybe $3,000 with a good laptop and a couple of things, $3,000 or $4,000. Relatively accessible. Anyone can do it.
Yeah. Nerd Forge. She's an art YouTuber. She makes like little dioramas, and she makes like
ornate
books.
Leather-bound books and armor for like reenactments. All like really cool.
But she's a really Nerd Forge. There it is in that's the link there in chat.
Do you follow Adam Savage's Tested at all?
Yes.
Yeah, he's decent. Occasionally you get some props from the prop store that are all Star Trek props and gets really into detail as well.
It's really cool. Yeah, he really nerds out over all that stuff. He gets some really like good fake ones, So yes, they're in the Jeffries tube with the force perspective. Neil shows Kelsey how to remove the trilithium from the storage chamber, and she's like, "Thank you very much, Neil." She kills him, which is a bit savage. But there you go.
But like, it's only a little laser cutter. He could have fought her off. It's like, we don't need you anymore. You didn't fight. I don't know.
Did Neil seem like the fighting kind of guy? I mean, look at him.
I think everyone's the fighting type of guy if you're about to die, but apparently not.
Yeah. They meet up with Picard again, who's their hostage again. And Picard points out that Pommet isn't dead. He's just been knocked out because he's like, well, he will be in a moment. As we said, just leave it. We leave him to die. They're dead, Jim.
Or the dead Dave.
It's worse than that.
Dave, brother.
It's worse than that. He's dead, Dave. Kiros asks Neil, where's Neil? And Kelsey lies that the sweep got him. But it was Kelsey herself. On the planet, Troy tends to Riker's wounds, and there's some kind of beeping that Data observes is a proximity warning. Appears to be a small vessel approaching, so Orton has dropped the shields to the array, so it's allowed to approach. Riker orders Data to stop that ship somehow. The Doc activates Geordie's visor, and everyone drops holding their heads. Data takes all their weapons and accesses the console to see what he can do. Back on the Enterprise, the captain tells Kelsey that she... Oh, no.
It's partly the shadow, but she looks like she got real thick neck there.
She has got a thick neck and a small head. That's true.
Yeah, she does. A little bit, yeah. She's got a rugby player's neck.
Like back in the day.
You have a neck like that. It's hard to get shirts that fit.
Yeah. She tells Picard that they're not terrorists. She's just planning on selling the trilithium for profit. So this is all about making money. They make Picard open up the doors to 10 forward and guide them in, which he does so. But what they don't know is that he set up a flash trap on the floor that gets Kiros. Kelsey and then Picard fight for the...
Still.
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Although that piece of tape where the thing is supposed to be... Yeah, it's not really supposed to be there.
It's not?
Well, you see there's like a... Oh, well, there's like a little bit of duct tape, like a mark or something, because they're...
Yeah, that's what his trap was on.
That's what his trap was on.
He stepped over it.
He stepped over it, and then she stepped on the tape. And
okay.
It blew up and threw her backwards. This is where her stunt training really come into effect, because she's a stunt woman.
Yeah.
Kelsey and Picard fight for Kelsey's weapon, which is a particular weapon. It's from the Most Toys. I think it's that weapon that there was only one of in the galaxy or something? It's supposed to be the most dangerous handheld weapon.
Only 7 in the galaxy, and it was
Yeah.
the only one that wasn't fired or something. Yeah.
Something I've forgotten what it's called, but anyway, that was Kelsey's
The
weapon.
T-Veron disruptor.
The
Veron T
T-Veron disruptor. Yeah, that's the one.
Veron T.
Veron T disruptor. Kelsey ends up beating Picard in their fight. There's some fight shots. He might do all his own stunts, but that's not Picard's head. That's definitely not him. I don't know who that guy is, but it looks like he's got a bald head that's had some grey painted around the side and back of it with the roller.
And that booty is not Picard booty.
No, that ain't it, Chief.
Well, Picard's a small and muscly man. Yeah, that guy's a little bit too big.
Yeah. Anyway, she wins, and eventually she gets beamed out by her ship. She doesn't actually shoot Picard. She just beams out of there. I think she assumes that he's going to get got by the wave. Indeed, he nearly does. He gets to like the edge of 10 forward, as far forward as he can go, and he signals with the comm badge. He desperately signals the station to deactivate the sweep, which eventually they do. I said do. Data answers and checks in with Picard that he's all right, and we see that Riker has the weapons on Orton and his staff. Data asks about the ship, but Picard says not to worry about it, they won't get far. And then we see Picard is now looking at a stabilizer that he has in his hand, but he's nicked off the container. And indeed, as he's looking at that stabilizer in the background, we see the ship explode. Wow, it explodes so brightly that it didn't appear. Why is it not working? Oh. There we go. There we see the ship explode. Later in sickbay. Sorry, Tommy?
I was like, it is quite bright, though.
It is bright. It's a bright explosion. It goes kaboom.
But like 300 meters off the, port bow of the Enterprise, it explodes. And it's like, oh, this explosive can just, is really dangerous. And the Enterprise with the shields down just gets a minor bump. Can't be that special.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be so confident sat right by that massive window with no shields as that thing's just exploded and all the shrapnel's heading to you at whatever
No
speed.
shields, no structural integrity field, no deflectors, nothing. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, and we know those windows explode when they land on the planet. They just shatter like glass. So, not so good.
No.
Oh, Mazza's joining us in the sick brigade.
Yes, we're all sneezing this evening. Later in sickbay, as Picard's being checked out by Dr. Crusher, Worf comes in with his saddle. Apparently, someone put it in a maintenance locker. Worf is surprised that the captain has his own saddle on board the Enterprise. But the rest of the command crew just tell him matter-of-factly that, don't you know that all experienced riders have their own saddle? It's perfectly natural, Picard laments that it did come in handy, but it's a shame he didn't get to use it on a horse. And Worf replies, of course, as though he understands exactly what Picard's talking about.
A horse, of course.
A horse, of
A
course.
horse, a horse, of course. And did you guys ever have that show in the UK? Mr. Ed?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes, of all the talking horse will listen to Mr. Ed.
I have a friend I always call Mr. Ed just because, he goes by Ed. That's the choice.
That lets you know how old I am. I used to watch Mr. Ed as a kid.
I don't think I ever saw it.
I don't think you were watching it the first time round. I think you were possibly watching a repeat.
Yes.
I'm not even old enough for Mr. Ed.
The fact that it was still on so I could see it, I think is still a bit of a tell.
Okay, that was the end of the final act, so we have the last question time. No, not Mr. Head. No. That's a different thing entirely.
Who contacts Picard from the surface? Is it A, Riker, B, Data, C, Beverly, D, Geordi? And the bonus question is, what is it again? Anyone who is an experienced rider has their own what? Okay, that one's probably a little bit too easy, but anyway, it's done now.
Brilliant. Stuplum's old enough for the original Mr. Ed. He watched it first time through. Well done, Stuplum.
Yeah. Mr. Head, is a whole different. That's kind of like Flash Gordon and Flesh Gordon. You know, two very different films.
Very, very different. There we go. That was the end of your episode. Is there any final thoughts, Maz? Oh, you're on silent. You're on.
Sorry, I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. A couple of thoughts. Whether interesting or not remains to be seen. So, as well as the Deck 7 or 12 confusion of sickbay, there was some confusion about where they were at the end as well. Because obviously they clearly said they were going to 10 forward. But when Kiros tells Kelsey that she's found Mott on Deck 10, you hear Deck 10, but her lips say something different. And it looks like she says Deck 2. I was like, trying to lip read. And then correspondingly, when Kiros tells Kelsey that she has Mott on Deck 10 and she says, meet her at section 41, presumably on Deck 10, when they do join them, it says they're on Deck 2. So there's this whole Deck 2, Deck 10 confusion as well.
Yeah.
Kelsey's personal weapon. Anyone notice that one?
The Pharaon T disruptor.
Yeah, did you say that already?
Yeah, we've had that. Yeah, we had that conversation.
Right.
Yeah, there's only 7 in the universe, but we've seen it about 20 times because they keep using the prop. They really should have smashed it after that one.
Yeah, there was another lip sync thing where when Riker said something about the hypersonic burst, his lips did something entirely different, but I couldn't lip read what he would have said, but they obviously maybe fluffed a line. They had to dub it over later. I thought it was quite interesting that like Picard ends up having a fist fight with a couple of women because TNG isn't known for sort of having really good, strong action roles for women, but for whatever reason in this episode, they managed to do it for a couple of, guest stars. It's just a shame they can't do that a little bit more for their incumbent team. But yeah, it's still good to see.
Yeah,
maybe they're an alien species, but I didn't really buy the fact that Picard would really be troubled by these, 50-kilo women as an 80-kilo man. Maybe they're just from a heavy gravity planet, who knows?
Oh, like the security chief on the Orville.
Yeah.
You
want to open those jar of pickles?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, if these are criminals that are trained to fight and defend themselves, they could do damage to anyone, right? But yeah,
I'll tell you, you think that, but if I went to Alex's Mai Tai and there's no way in hell I'd step in a ring with his Mai Tai instructor, who's this tiny little Russian lady. But Christ, there's no way I'd want to ever face her. You see the trick?
The trick, but if you just grab her, throw her on the ground and land on top of her, there's not much you can do about it. If you stay on your feet,
if I survive the volleys of legs and fists,
all you have to do is grab her and throw her on the ground, and then just
it's a question of could you get close enough to do that, though, right?
Yeah. But the trick is don't play to the other person's strengths; play to your own.
So, and then the final bit is that they said the baryon sweep would vaporize any organic matter, which might extend to the leather in Picard's saddle. So perhaps it should have been destroyed. But in fact, you think that would also be the case for any house plants or food or spot, and it's like you'd have to remove quite a lot of things if it was all organic matter that was being destroyed in the sweep.
Yeah, well, they kind of lean into that. Beverly says she has some sort of organic samples, like fungus growing in a tree or something, and they need special shields. So they kind of cover it, but at the same time, just because leather is dead, it's still organic matter. So it's a bit loose.
Wookie said he would have given it a 10 if Picard had said "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker."
Possibly.
Oh, very good.
Nice. Oh, and we've got the bingo scores in already.
Bingo scores
I
are
had 2
in.
lines, did I? Jesus, I didn't even notice them.
Jeez Louise.
He was really rubbish at filling it in.
My quiz started off well today, and then it went downhill. Oh, we had the answers to the final question.
We haven't had the final answers yet.
Oh, right.
No, it was it was
We
Data
got B,
and
B,
it
B,
was Saddle.
B, saddle, or assless
Covered in
chap.
bees.
Right,
Yeah.
so that's everyone on the thing. Shall I spin it?
Yep,
I'm spinning it.
yep. Spin it.
Oh my god!
Monty again.
I don't believe it.
Nice.
That's a third time
I've not
this
seen the
evening.
scores, but I might take a guess and say Monty might be winning this week.
I don't know. Could be. I did lose one spin there, so yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, Wookie.
So
you
we
didn't
have
do it.
scores. I have them already. Whenever you're ready.
Oh, we do. Oh, crumbs. Okay. Hang on. Let me get my.
Super efficient.
Yeah, that's very good. Right. Sheet. Where is it?
Are you outside of Quarks, or is that just a really fancy looking rendition of some sci-fi art?
These quarks. Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah,
is cool.
Quarks, yeah.
It's nice.
Actually, I think it might be Quarks from Star Trek Las Vegas. It's not the real Quarks because they have like
Yeah, it looks a
POS.
bit different, but
POS
there's
tills.
dwarfs in Vegas.
There
Once
was, yeah.
upon a
They had
time.
a Star Trek The Experience for about 10 years, but it's gone
We
now.
missed it.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
God damn it. It might be
Okay.
Well,
going
it
on.
closed,
Yeah.
it closed about
Sure,
12
yeah.
or 13 years ago. At one stage, they were going to build a whole Enterprise, Constitution class Enterprise with the bridge and everything, and you could stay in it as a hotel, and then they didn't. So, yeah, annoying.
Sad times.
Right then. Give me the answers.
Oh,
Scores.
well, we've done the answers. Got the scores. So, in first place, 20 points ahead of everybody else because of all the lucky bastard spins of wheels, would be Monty Man. 10 points to Monty Man. Next, 20 points behind him is Tabakins with 8 points for Tabakins. Sorry, 9 points for Tabakins.
Woohoo.
Then in third
That's
place,
150 then, wasn't it? Hang on. What? 9 points, was it?
yeah,
What was it on before?
it was on 141, yeah.
It was 141, wasn't it? So it'd be 150.
Yeah.
Okay.
150, yeah. In third place with 8 points is Stuplum.
Oh,
50
stupid.
points behind Tabakins on my points. And then only 5 points behind him is Ruth with 7 points. And then is myself trailing in the 5th place with 6 points. Me and Stuplum level pegging.
Yeah, levelings. No points for anyone else this evening. No, but
no
I won
bingos
one.
for Mr. T.
I won an evening. I'm happy about
did.
that. It is my birthday
Well
week,
done.
so that's
Yeah.
it's
Nice little
birthday,
extra
a nice
present.
birthday present for me there. Yes,
Thank you for that.
yeah. So
can win if you want to.
everyone, get
Actually,
your
my
scores
nephew
in
was
chat
14
out
today.
of 10.
I get
from
to wield my paddle for the
From
first time.
0
in a
and
few
10,
weeks.
yeah. What would you give this episode? We've already had some scores in. There's a 9 from Wiki and a 9 from G Star. Are you ready with your paddles?
I'm ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, 9, 10, 9, 7.
I'm way out. Okay.
Did change it at the last minute from a 9 to a 10.
I like it,
I was in my
Maz.
head. I couldn't really. I'm like, what fault can I pick? I can't really pick any fault with it. So, yeah, I went up.
What
One.
did Tafikins go for?
A 9.
9.
I thought that this episode had a lot of issues in it. It did have a lot of issues, but only if you're really nitpicking. and not just enjoying the episode.
And Sean, what did you say?
7.
7?
Oh well, you know what? You can push me to an 8 if you want.
Ruth gave it a 7 as well, so you're not alone in your thinking.
Alone. You're not alone, Ruth. Give it a 7. You're both wrong.
I just felt it had a few plot flaws about the trilithium resin and transporting it. And, like, I enjoyed it overall as a good romp, and I love the whole Hutch and Data thing, and I needed more of that. Maybe it could have been a 2-parter; it would have been fantastic. But yeah, all the elements worked, but it could have worked better.
I like like Die Hard, Passenger 57, Under Siege. I like those type of one man against the adversities, the bad guys.
Yeah, the rabble.
It's like
it had a lot of puzzles, but at the same time, it was so much fun. It didn't matter.
It was fun. It was a real fun episode.
Yeah, a lot of plot holes, you can't give it a 10. A 9 with a load of plot holes, so it's why it pushed it down to a 7.
So what's the average of? We've got 2 9s, an 8, and a 7. Is that 8? Is it?
Where did we get 2 9s? We just had a 9, an 8, and a 7. Didn't we?
G, Wookie, they both give it 9.
Oh yes, sorry. Yeah,
Stu
Wookie,
Plum
sorry,
an 8, and Roof a 7.
Wookie.
So is that still 8?
Yeah, 8.5, so it's still an 8. Yeah.
8.25,
8.25, so it's still an 8.
8.25, yeah, still an 8. Yeah, okay. So that puts it on 8.6. So it's the joint best episode of the season.
Why does that look like 10?
Oh, no, that's not right.
Oh, you flipped onto another tab.
I didn't mean to do that. 8.6 puts it second best episode of the season behind A Fistful of Datas. Which is, A Fistful of Datas and Starship Mine, I can see them being the 2 best episodes of the season. They were some of my 2 favourite episodes.
It shouldn't be Fistful of Datas, that's for sure.
What we got coming up next?
Sorry, it shouldn't be beating Fistful of Datas.
Well, there's news on that. So, unfortunately, I've got to be away for work next week. So we're going to have to have a week off, I'm afraid.
What are you going to do, Tavi?
I have no idea. This is disturbing me already.
I can't make next week, unfortunately. So, yes, it's going to be a 2-week gap. But after that, after that epic sadness, the next episode will be Lessons.
Oh, cool. The reappearance of his flute.
Yeah, Picard gets a girlfriend. Or the reappearance of his flute. And if you don't know what flute is slang for in Ireland, you can probably take a guess.
Oh. And she's got a roll-up piano. Do you know, when I was younger, I was like, oh, I'd love a roll-up piano like that I could just take anywhere.
Yeah, you can buy it for like $12 off a Wish now.
Well, you can, but I bet they don't, play as well as I was meaning something that's like literally just works properly and like the right feel.
Got to get into the Jeffries tube in that center to get those acoustics just right. Like in the episode. I made that bit of it too early.
All right. Well, we will see you in. I was going to say we'll see you in November, but it'll still be October.
Yeah, it'll still be October.
My goodness, yes.
Unfortunately, I'll then be away the week after that as well. So unfortunately, we're going to have to.
You got to stop doing it. We can't.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to miss a week. Then we'll be back for Lessons the week after next. But then, unfortunately, I'm away the week after that as well. So
where are you going then?
So
I'm busy. Other things.
So you're not gonna give maybe Maz of the passcode, and we'll just do like a sock puppet.
I'm very welcome if you guys want to. I'm happy for you to. If you want to do it yourselves, I'm quite happy.
I would not have a clue where to start.
Yeah, I could show you what to do.
I need need to
I don't
install
know. That would be
software and all
great.
kinds of things.
It's all right. You could sit here. You come around and sit here and do it.
Just get your keys.
Yeah.
Well, you can always ask G-Star to host.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
True. We could ask him to step in. Yeah, that's true. He's got StreamYard. He can run stuff like
Yeah,
that.
you could do it with StreamYard. Yeah, it's easy.
Will he
It's
still be
easy.
on holiday next week?
He's only away for a week.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back.
It's a mini moon.
Just before we go, Monty, I just put a link in the chat there. I don't know if you could just put it up and just play it. It's only about 20 seconds, but it's very good.
Let's have a go. Let's have a see.
Do some Trek talking.
Yeah, I promise it's
now
only
or Majram's Duplum, sorry.
Night, Stu Plum.
I do.
Hang on, I better share this in the way that you can hear it.
Damn.
Acting for 35 years. 135 credits on IMDb. I was in a long-running series. You might remember it. Star Trek. But all I'm known for is combing the desert and saying, we ain't found shit.
He doesn't know what he's known for.
I love it. But yeah.
Janice song.
The Jana song, yeah. I wonder what I played last on YouTube. Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Premium. Someone has money.
Oh, yeah, I can't be doing with watching adverts on YouTube. With the amount of YouTube I consume.
His whole family just watch it like all the time.
Mm.
To be fair, sometimes I'm half asleep in bed watching something, and then an ad kicks in. It's like, please get the new Dyson air dryer. You're half asleep watching something really calm and meditating, and then an ad kicks in. Like, fucker.
Yeah, no, I can't be doing with that. Can't be doing with that.
I get it.
There's a clip they say that's how everyone probably saw Cowboy Bebop for the first time, asleep on the sofa and in the middle of the night. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. The end of the song comes on. And then you're like, you ended up watching the show.
Yeah. Anyway, that is our. Why should I watch RoboCop remake scene 27? Would that be a bad thing?
And it says, lol, don't. So, yeah, I assume you shouldn't.
I'm not going to watch that.
Sounds like
There was a fan recut of the original RoboCop where there's one of the scenes, but basically he shoots between a woman's legs to shoot off a lad's appendage, and but there's like an extended version of a fan cut, and he does this to like 30 other people. Maybe that's what he's referring to.
Oh, maybe. No, I'm not. I'm not going to show that. Anyway, that's our show for this evening. Yeah, that's it. We're done.
Join us.
I think it was a good one. It's definitely up there with one of my faves because just for the mixture of action and comedy and all round pacing, I think it's just a very good episode. I think some people feel it's too violent. It's not quite with the ethos of Star Trek: The Next Generation, but I think it's a good show anyway. So I always enjoyed it.
I get why it might not be a favourite with fans, but I don't care.
Yeah, it's just by the means,
Yeah.
Do you let explosives off the ship that can kill thousands or millions, or do you kill like 3 people to stop it happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's like, what do they expect them to do? Pick up bodies and drag them through the ship?
That's right.
Like,
Yeah.
Like
He
I'm
made
afraid
the choice.
to do it. It was against his anything he could have done outside of his powers.
I need that zapper thing, Maz. I need the little zapper thing. It's getting on my nerves. That bloody fly keeps flying in my... Oh, yeah, I need that thing. Yeah.
I used it for the first time successfully yesterday.
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Wookie. Thanks for coming along and joining in as normal. Obviously, you guys in live chat make the show what it is. So thank you very much for all your contributions. And thank you to Ruth for coming along as always. Yes, we will all definitely miss you guys next week, but we will be back the week after for another episode. I will be in Gloucester with work next week, so yes. Thank you to Stuplum, thank you to Ruth, thank you to Uki, thank you to Mr. Tavikins, the Beard, thank you to G-Star in Canary Islands, or Riser in his holiday solar system, and thank you for my co-hosts Mazim Bob, Chief Sean, and Lieutenant Tavikins Turner. We will see you in 2 weeks' time.
Mind yourselves.
Cheers.
Be good, and if you can't be good, be careful.
My granddad always used to say that to me.
Oh,
yeah.